We always install the camshaft first. It's so much easier to put the camshaft in the block before the crankshaft so you don't damage the cam bearings. This cam is a custom grind by Interior Cams in BC, and Rick worked with us and came up with a custom grind that'll work great for this application. Next, we install the 4340 steel crank. We've already pre-measured the crankshaft and established a main bearing clearance of 2.5 thou. The mains are now torqued to dart specification, and the crankshaft end play is set at 5 thousandths. Next, we install the timing set in a straight up position and torque the bolts to factory specifications. The Molly piston rings have been filed and gapped for a street performance application. All the rings are on the pistons and staggered properly, so nothing lines up. The pistons are now installed in the block, and the deck heights are checked, 5 thousandths in the bore. All the connecting rod bolts are torqued to ARP specifications with ARP loop. The oil pump is now installed. The oil pump screen has been checked to make sure that it doesn't bottom out on the oil pan. The pump is torqued to specification. The one-piece Velcro pan gasket is set in place and the pan installed. The engine is now turned upright, and we install Velcro MLS performance head gaskets and ARP head studs. Next, we lubricate and install the hydraulic roller lifters, lifter guides, and retainer. The Dart Pro 1 Platinum 180cc heads with 72cc combustion chamber are now installed. The ARP studs are torqued to ARP specification, again with the ARP lube.
Super bad. That's what happens when you do preparation.
Velcro performance intake gaskets are set in place, and the dual plane manifold is installed. Next, we set the PRW stainless roller rocker arms in place. We leave the rocker studs loose so we can align the rockers, and then we torque the studs after everything is in place. After the valves are set, we install the PRW aluminum rocker covers. Carburetor, distributor, and ignition wires are next, and then it's off to Terry's dyno.
We're back here today at Lorco Machine Shop in Langley, British Columbia, with Ron and Ron to check in to see how we made out with the engine build. So let's start with you, Ron. We went through the build. How'd it go?
Everything went fine. We finished it all up, dressing it up, and then we took it over to the dyno to get it dyno run, and then we made some adjustments to have it all ready to go into the car.
Excellent. And any problems with the? Before we get into how it performed,
okay.
Did you come across any problems?
We just had one minor oil leak that was discovered, and we fixed that up right away, and everything should be nice and tight now. And then, but other than that, polished it up a little bit better for you, and she's ready to go.
And you were telling me earlier that the reason you take it over to the dyno, you prefer, instead of tuning it in the car, is you can make all the adjustments prior to installing.
You have a live engine running, so you're able to do some proper diagnostics in the sense of making any adjustments, be it carburetor, timing, valve adjustments on the vehicle, and then make sure it's performing exactly the way it's designed to that it was built for.
So specifically, what sort of adjustments did you do?
What we normally do is we'll get the engine, we'll get it fired up and get a good break in on it, so we know what's going on with the engines. We can check the temperature, the exhaust temperature, check the carburetor, air fuel mixture, all those type of things. So we know everything is right. In this particular case, we got to check everything over. We found a small oil leak. We addressed that, which was very easy on the dyno instead of leaning over the fender or crawling underneath the car.
Right. Okay.
And adjusting the carburetor, finding out getting a baseline of air fuel mixture and adjusting the carburetor accordingly. So when this goes into the Shovelle, it should be all happy and ready to go.
Excellent. So the results were?
Well, we were actually very happy with the results of this engine. Well, our whole intention with this engine was to make it a torque engine because of the heavy car. We talked about this earlier. But this one actually exceeded our torque expectations.
Oh.
We ended up with 513.9, so let's call it 514 foot-pounds of torque on this.
At?
Where were we? We maxed out. Let me look at the sheet here. I happen to have it right in front of me here. At 4,100 RPM is where we maxed out on our
At
torque.
4,100, wow.
4,100, so it's good mid-range torque is what we're and 455 horsepower.
Wow,
So
so
the torque is high, the horsepower is very, very good. The torque is high, which is great on a street car to get that heavy car rolling.
excellent, excellent. So we had predicted, I believe we predicted around 425 and 475 on
That's the
somewhere
preliminary-
around.
that's what
Yeah,
we're
so
shooting
we
for.
exceeded our expectations. So excellent, nice job, guys.
Well, what it goes to show is that you do not have to have that big radical camshaft in an engine to make power. It's all about airflow and the right choice of parts. What this one does is it's got small cylinder heads, only 180 cc cylinder heads, and a small camshaft, so the torque numbers go through the roof, and you have drivability. This engine will still pull vacuum, so you'll be able to use your power brakes and have vacuum for those, make it a lot safer to drive, and it's not going to rattle you out of the seat. It's going to have a nice idle, and it's going to sound nice, but it's still going to have a nice idle and drivability, and that's what it's all about, so you can enjoy your vehicle.
Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to the next phase of the build, and we'd like to thank both of you and Lordco Auto Parts for participating in the building of Project Shovelle's the engine portion. Thanks very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.